Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this is how I installed my battery relocation kit into my R32 Skyline GTR. So if you don't know how to run cables, this is not the video for you. But if you do know how to run cables and you just want to know how I did it, this video is for you. So first off, I got this battery mount from Speedway Motors. Congrats to them. They shipped it out like the day I ordered it, and it was here within 2 days. This is the Billet Optima battery mount, and if you want to know, this is part number 25. This one works pretty good, and but the mount is actually made for a couple other. You can either put a yellow top Optima or a red top Optima. Now, I'll first start off with my negative or my ground. I obviously connected it there, ran it down and around, and I put a bolt through the body here and ran my ground. Now that's for the negative side. Now for the positive side, okay, here's where things get interesting. So the positive comes off and down and to your circuit protection device. I got a 150 amp circuit breaker right there. Obviously that's how you trip it, and that's how you reset it. From there I ran the power cable to this battery disconnect switch, which I mounted with some self-tapping screws right into the metal right here, and it goes underneath the glass and trim. It's not going to cause any issues or anything. So I use this battery cutoff switch as my main ground connection point. Okay, so everything from here that needs power goes from here. So if you ever need to cut the power off to the vehicle, all power from here will be cut off. And if you ever need to service a battery or work on something, you can simply just come back here and switch it on or off. Now, here's where the fun part gets in. My fuel pump. I have a Aeromotive relay system for fuel pumps. I have a secondary switch up front, which I can turn off or on to turn on my fuel pump, and it runs right back here to this relay. I got all the wires ran and hid. This is the fuel pump relay into some really heavy gauge positive and negative wires. I ran that. I obviously connected the ground for it with the ground, and then I ran the wires all the way back around and underneath to my fuel pump right there. So that is my fuel pump setup. From there, we'll go into here. I got some nice 8L clamps. Give me plenty of room, and they keep everything from hanging. I'm going to put a few more zip ties to kind of clean up everything. But obviously, amplifier fuse for the Rockford Fosgate amplifier here. This is a 400 channel, or 400 watts 4-channel. And but that also connects to the main switch. So you got your amplifier and then the starter cable. And I'll go around to the front, show you the starter cable. All right, moving to the front of the car. So the starter cable, I don't know if you can see it. I ran it through the hole into the back of the trunk right there. And then I ran it all the way down through and underneath the driver's side and through the main hole in the fender. And then through, you have to pull the fender liner out to get it out. Once you do, you run it straight into the firewall. And I ran it straight to the starter solenoid down there. Let's see if you can see it. So that's ran straight to the starter. From there, the wiring harness. This is the Wiring Specialties Pro wiring harness. I spent like $1,000 for the wiring harness for Pro the Pro wiring harness or whatnot. And the Pro wiring harness gets its power from that starter solenoid. So all your power is ran to that point. Now, I also utilized the factory, this is the factory power cable that originally went to the starter. All I did was cut off the length that I need of it, and I put another fuse box here, and then I connected it to the original body harness fuses. The fusible link and all that connect straight into the fuse block, and I got extra fuses on it, so they're easily checked and can see them from right there. So that cleans up the battery relocation on my R32 Skyline GTR. And if you have any questions on how I did mine, I'll gladly show you. Now the alternator, it came with another cable. So how it charges is through the actual wiring specialties harness, and this cable connects straight directly to the alternator. So there's where your alternator recharges the whole system and the car, but all of the power, mainly your starter is supposed to pull the most current draw. So if you like what I've done, hit me up, subscribe, and maybe you can get as custom as I did. If you have any questions, let me know.